drive in. Big old Toronto. This city never sleeps, guys. Unreal.
Couldn't get you off my mind. So I'm at your house this morning.
Out here at Nissan, huge event, beautiful sunny day, a little chilly, it's around -2, but it's gonna be a great day. Expecting 90 customers in here. Let's do this. So basically I'm sitting here with Marco, senior consultant, savoir-faire, expertise guy, unbelievable. Basically a huge sales manager here at Sherway Nissan. And we were just discussing the future of automotive and sales in general. It's not always just automotive, right? There's different people, different classes out there where, success ratios are dependent on intellectual property, which is human beings and people, right? And what's your take? You said something very interesting that just totally stopped me and said, I got to get this on video.
I think that in our industry, at least, dealer principals, owners, they've been trying to stay away from, be less dependent on salespeople, to the point where they kind of, they turned off the industry. So they kind of, there's no that many people that want to join the industry anymore as a result. And you have a lot of people advertising things like, we don't pay commission. We're a structure without percentages and commissions and things like that, which is going to attract the wrong type of people. You're not going to attract the person that's looking for an uncapped job where there is no limit. That was the beauty about commission. It was never a limit. Now you're telling them that no, we don't do that. Here we pay you a salary and the occasional bonus here and there, and that's somebody like me who's always tried to exceed and hit my next target and keep going, keep pushing. Doesn't attract me at all, because at that point I would have got a bag job, right? Doing mortgages or whatever. Which is the same thing, though, funny enough, that the manufacturer's trying to do to the dealerships themselves. They're trying to get rid of the dealer principals and the owners and automate the service in a way where you almost have a cookie cutter approach, number one, and number two, a vending machine for cars, which you have all these people putting all these efforts into getting rid of the jobs that have no issues and they've proven to make money and they've proven to do this and that, and just to be less dependent on people. And that's just, in a way, it's understandable from a business perspective, but it's really sad. It's very, very sad to try and get rid of the human touch, because ultimately people buy something because of that human touch, something as big as a car and things like that. You're not walking into Hallmark and choosing a car. You're buying something. It's a big commitment. It's the second largest purchase you'll make in your life, and it's kind of sad to see that kind of go away, right? So.
I'm glad you said that, because at the end of the day, and this is not my biased opinion, this is just a global point of view, and it is a business point of view, right? At the end of the day, any product or service globally, still to this day, and I think going forward to infinity, don't we all make more money when we serve more of the economy?
Yeah.
And so what we're doing is we want to continue that basis, okay? But we want to at the same time, at the same token, slice it all out. So I'm glad you said that, because it makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, anything out there, the global economy, if we want to go and we want to get a cup of coffee at Starbucks, right? Can you imagine that they're trying to hinder the performance of the group and yet increase profitability? It just won't happen.
I look at it from, and at the same time, you got to look at it from their perspective as well. You've made a $millions investment on this building, and then you have something like people, which is something very, at least in some people's perspective, is the most unreliable factor. Because the building's going to be there, it's going to perform, it's going to keep shelter on the cars and everything else, and that's a guaranteed. And then you have this wild card, which is people, and instead of spending money and time figuring out a way to replace people, why don't you train those people better? That's my point. Train them better, train them to be loyal to you, train them to work for you, what you believe in, and not what you're selling and everything else. And you'll have somebody who will go above and beyond. I've been in positions where I believed I was working, I believed for the person that I was working for, and that's when I really exceeded in my job and everything else, but not because I believed in the product. believing in the product is a big part of the process. If you sell something you like, you're always going to exceed at it by default more than something that you don't like. But if you believe in the person that you're working, that's above and beyond the product that it will ever go, right? If you believe the cause that and the person that you're working for, that alone is going to make a huge difference. So, and it's funny because you see some dealer groups, not to mention any, but some in the Toronto area, instead of investing money and time and so much in building and the turnaround of people, they invested the money and time in creating culture within the group.
So they believe in intellectual property.
They believe in intellectual property, and the results are there, man. Like you can't.
Beautiful, yeah.
People work there for 10 years and no problems, and yeah, and they're loyal, and that's what you want. You want loyal people. You can't get rid of people, man. Not in our industry. We're not assembling toys. We're not assembling cars.
Right.
You know.
Right. At the end of the day, it's the human factor.
It is.
Always was, always will be.
Yeah.
That's why people go out and spend $7 on a cup of coffee. It's not worth $7.
No.
Intellectual property, guys, great.